Hey, what's up guys? It's your pal Ben here from Twig Cycles out of Hagerstown, Maryland. We're gonna be checking out a 2023 Indian Challenger. Figured I'd take some time and just go over it and show it off. Show you guys why these things have been kind of dominating the market a little bit and why they've been so popular. So for those of you that are maybe just now getting into researching the Challenger, this is basically Indian's answer to the Harley Road Glide. So with the fixed fairing, you guys I'm sure are already used to the Chieftain. So this actually has a fork mounted fairing. The Challenger actually has a frame mounted fairing. And you'll hear different reviews from different riders. Some people prefer a fork mounted fairing, some folks prefer a frame mounted fairing. Personally, I'm a big fan of the Chieftains, but I feel like I actually have a little bit more space from the seat to the fairing. So, I don't feel quite as claustrophobic. And I'll tell you, having the frame mounted fairing actually takes a good bit of that weight off the handlebars. So it's just something to keep in mind. So let's talk about the power plant first off. What everybody really digs about these things. This sucker is putting out 122 horsepower and 128 foot-pounds of torque. So out of that, what they call the Power Plus 108. So something that you don't typically see amongst American V twins very often is the fact that this thing is liquid cooled. You got this giant radiator up here, which actually you can't really see from the side. They did a great job kind of hiding that thing in between the frame there, but it's just tucked up in there. So liquid cooled Power Plus 108 cubic inch motor. Obviously this is a 6-speed transmission, but this thing is meant to perform. It's got the ground clearance to corner. It's got the power to get you where you want it, or where you want to go and when you want to go there. It's got crazy torque, crazy power. But what's really neat about these things is you actually have power modes. So depending on the scenario, maybe you don't quite need all that juice all at once. You can actually go in here and you can select what kind of mode you want it in. So if you're touring, or if you want it in standard mode, or if you want it in sport mode, you can change that. So I'll go in here into the display and show you what I'm talking about. So right there, yeah, we got rain, standard, sport. This bike also has traction control, really nice to have, which I think that kind of coincides a little bit with the rain mode. So, if we're all bikers, we all ride pretty much nonstop throughout the year. It's inevitable, we're gonna get stuck in rain. So the nice thing that this thing has is, like I say, that you got the rain mode and the traction control to keep you from slipping and sliding when you're not expecting it to do that. But then obviously you can turn that off if you want to do the burnouts and all the cool fun stuff like that, the burnout contests and so on. You can do that. But hey, if you're out with some buddies and you want to rip and tear, you can put this sucker up in sport mode, and it 100%, it'll waken you up. I mean, it's pretty impressive. As you can imagine, electronic throttle, so all that juice is right there when you want it. It's instantaneous, and believe me, this thing handles very well. It feels lightweight. It's just how Indian designed these things, the ergonomics on these things. To sit on it, I will tell you, the ground clearance on this and the seat height is a little bit taller than that on the Chieftain right next to us here. So just something to keep in mind. If you have a dealership local to you, I'd advise you to sit on it, make sure it's the right choice for you. Obviously they don't all come with the big bars that you can see here. This is a standard, not a standard, but this is actually a Challenger Dark Horse with the standard setup. So standard pipes and standard handlebars, so they do have a little bit more of a back sweep to them, easy to reach. So just a couple things to kind of keep in mind. This is a 6-speed transmission. These bikes are belt driven as well. Yeah, so super smooth. They did a great job with the handling, the power, being able to kind of manage that power, like I say, with the power modes and things like that. And we'll get into some of the display here in a couple of minutes. So I just want to take a couple minutes and talk about some of the dimensions. So first thing, what a lot of folks ask for, this is a 6-gallon tank. I think they designed this perfectly. It looks great. Got the electronic fuel cap. So just push the button down there. That sucker flies open. 6-gallon tank. I'm not sure off the top of my head what the MPGs are. You can Google that. I know everybody rides differently. Some folks ride a little bit more gingerly. Some folks, ride pretty hard. So MPGs are probably going to vary a little bit, but big 6-gallon fuel tank. You have a 26.5-inch seat height. This thing I know has a little bit over 5 inches worth of ground clearance. Like I say, they designed this sucker to really corner hard. Good bit of ground clearance there, good cornering clearance. Like I say, 26.5-inch seat height. Trying to give you guys a little bit better view there. Did a great job with the design, good stitching. I like that the seat actually kind of tucks you in there too. I don't like seats that are, a little bit too flat. Years ago when they first came out with the first iterations of the Chieftains, they all came with kind of the solo seat, not this one here, but they all came with that solo seat that had a little bit of a bump there. It wasn't really holding you in like the new seat that you can see there, or like this. Obviously with all that power, you don't want to feel like you're going to fly off the back. So it's pretty nice that you have some bolstering there, something to kind of keep you in. Nice big passenger seat there as well. If we want to carry a spouse with you, you can do that. You can actually, these little spools, if you want, you can fit backrests, and you can also get the trunk as featured on the Pursuit and the Roadmaster, so you can do that. So that's what these little spools are for, if you want to throw a passenger backrest or the trunk on there. But back to your dimensions, 26.5-inch seat height, and I believe your wheelbase is coming in at 65.7 inches. 65.7 inches. Oh, by the way, overall weight, wet weight, so operating weight, is coming in at 831 pounds. So 831 pounds, which, like I say, this thing glides really, really well. It rides super well, not only at low speed, but at high speed. Really, I think the true test is not only, any bike's going to feel light to somewhat, to an extent when you actually get out riding, but really the test is how it feels maybe in a parking lot, how it's handling, with you and maybe some luggage, or you and a passenger, how's it handle in low speed scenarios and stuff like that. I think that really is the big test, and what can make a bike feel light or heavy or things like that. So we've talked about engine, transmission, we've talked about dimensions, things like that. By the way, guys, if there's something that I've missed, please leave that in the comment section below. I'm happy to address that. Obviously, you can see we got twin rotors, Brembo brakes on this bad boy. You got Metzler Cruise Text. You got a 130 60 90 on the front. You have a 180 60 16 hidden underneath there. Kind of hard to see, but and as I mentioned earlier, this is a belt-driven motorcycle, as most of all the Indian motorcycles are. As far as your suspension goes, you have inverted forks on the front. This also has, I'm not going to take the seat off or anything like that, but this actually has a hydraulic Fox shock, mono shock underneath the seat there, which actually has a hydraulic adjustment. So you can get behind, I believe it's the left-hand side panel. It's right behind there, and you can actually adjust the ride comfort of that rear shock. So whether or not they give you a little bit of a chart, whether or not it's just you and some luggage, or you and a passenger and some luggage, you have the ability to adjust the ride comfort a little bit there too. So let's get up close and kind of pull this thing apart. As we look at this fairing, you can see we got nice big speakers up here. So if you're one of those that likes to listen to some tunes while you're riding, you can do that. Nice big speakers, really good output there. When the RPMs start to go up, when you actually start riding, the volume increases a little bit and decreases when you come to a stop or when you start to slow down. You have the really nice adjustable windshield. This is just the standard height windshield. You can see if you want to do a taller windshield, you can do that. Clockworks actually has flared windshields you can get for these, really popular. If you don't want something uber tall, you can get the Clockworks flare windshield. Keeps you kind of nice and low and mean, things like that. You can get them tinted and smoked and stuff like that. And you can get them shorter even if you want, but having that adjustable windshield is really nice. If you're doing some long distance riding, you can raise that up when you're hitting the interstate, crushing some miles, or if you're cruising through town, want a little bit more airflow. Obviously you have a little bit of airflow in that little vent there, but if you want to drop the windshield down, it is right here at the push of a button. I'll actually fire it up here and show you what that looks like. So that's what the shield looks like in the lowest position, and this is what it's going to look like in its tallest position. Working our way back, as I had mentioned, this is the Power Plus 108, beautiful V-twin. liquid cooled, fuel injected. You got the nice big beautiful 6-gallon tank up there as well. Working our way back, we have plenty of storage here as well. So hard lockable waterproof bags. These are somewhat quick release to an extent if you have an Allen wrench handy. It's just 2 Allen bolts. There's one, there's one. Make sure when you go to take the bag off, if you're cleaning behind there or anything like that, just behind this little panel, there's a pigtail that you got to make sure you unplug, but it's not quick release in that you can do it without tools, but as long as you have an Allen wrench right there, it's easy to pop on and off. Like I say, these are lockable. You can lock it both with the fob, and you actually have a button right there that you can lock the bags with also. Working our way back here, you can see we have the integrated taillight and turn signals here as well. Let me go ahead and pop those on so you can see. So nice and bright. I've seen some guys get pretty creative. You can actually get, I can't remember if it's from Indian or Karaoke, but you can actually get the LED bag lights that go along the trim of the lid there. So you can do that if you want some additional lighting on the rear. Let me go ahead and go up front. I'll show you the lights up front here as well. So nice big bright LED headlight. Of course, the Indian war bonnet there on the fender also lights up as well. But everything's LED, nice and bright, so you can see and be seen. And as I had mentioned to you earlier, we have the Tab Performance exhausts on these. On this particular bike, they sound really, really good. I can't remember what baffles we have in these, but you can get the zombie baffles that if you like it loud, definitely you can go with Tab Performance on these things. They perform really well on the Challengers. They sound fantastic. So we're going to work our way over to the left-hand side of the bike. Obviously, bike, this is pretty standard, comes with passenger pegs. So pretty nice there. Like I say, we'll go ahead and open this bag up, show you the left-hand side. So got plenty of space inside there. They actually have liners you can get for these. So if you want to, if you're staying the night somewhere, drop the liner in, put your stuff in. You can take the liner out, take it into the hotel or whatever have you. This little spot here, from the factory, they have to have this coming from the factory as a way for your passenger to hang on to. But actually that spot is intended for a rider backrest. So you can get the Indian factory rider backrest if you want to do that. They also make a heel toe shifter. If you want to get the heel toe shifter, you can see it's actually slotted for the heel shifter if you want to do that. Got the nice chrome what do I want to say, crash guards, engine guards. Everybody's got a different name for them. If you have these on, by the way, just to give you an idea what you can do. So on the Pursuit, just to show you, if you want to get the lowers for the Challenger, you can do that. This is what they would look like. These lowers actually come factory from Indian on the Pursuit, but they're the same engine guard. So if you want to do that, you can do that. Something else that you can get for these too, if you don't want to spend the money to get the lowers, the hard lowers, they actually make leather closeouts for here. So, if it's raining or in the colder months, if you want a little bit more protection around your legs and your feet, you can get the leather closeouts that fit there also. So I just want to take a couple minutes here real quick and go over the display. I'm a classic guy, so I like that they actually still give you, even though you have all this nice, wonderful information right here, they give you the classic dials. So you have your tachometer on the right, you have your speedometer on the left. Then it actually shows you, if you look, you got your fuel range until you're completely empty with your fuel gauge there. You'll have your other indicators, your typical indicators like turn signals, things like that, high beam indicator, all that good stuff. On the tach side, you can see traction control. Right now, I don't have the bike running, obviously, so it's letting us know traction control is turned off, but ABS is activated. The bike comes standard with ABS brakes. You can see we have our neutral indicator. This is actually a gear indicator, so it's going to count 1 through 6 for us. And we have our odometer there on the right. Moving our way down, so we'll go left to right here on these buttons. This is kind of what I call your vehicle information or your road information. So these 3 little pages, you can see if I hit the button, you get the 3 little pills that pop up there. So first page is going to be your GPS and whatever information you want to select to have on the right hand side. If I hit this little gear icon, I can actually customize the display and put the information that I want to see viewed up there. So let's say I want to put my radio over there. I got the compass there. So if I want to view my radio at the same time I'm viewing my GPS, I can do that. So like I say, you have 3 pages here that are customizable. If I go over here, this one's going to show me, you know, tire pressure. If I ever get a check engine light, it's going to let me know if there's a sensor anywhere on the motorcycle that's, you know, having a defect or anything like that. It'll show up with a little red icon there. It's going to show your battery level, fuel range, things like that, when it's due for its next service. Like I say, the information on the right-hand side is all customizable. I'm going to go ahead and move over to the next button over, which is your GPS. So you can obviously adjust the brightness. You can adjust, you know, if you want the screen to be black or white, whatever you can view easiest. But this is going to allow you to go in here. And obviously, like any other Garmin or TomTom, you can select, you know, gas stations, food and drinks, lodging, attractions. You can set your home or your favorites, things like that. You can actually go in and input your address. Like I say, it's just like any other GPS you may have operated in your car. We're going to come back to that here in a minute, but the next one over is going to be our Bluetooth button. So this is going to allow us to, when I tap this button, it's going to bring up this display. It looks like we already had a phone or something like that connected. We can add phone or add a headset. You can add, I believe it's 2 headsets and 1 phone up to this and have it all connected at the same time. So if you want to do that, you can do that. And the next one over, obviously, is going to be our music. This, we have FM, AM, weather band, USB, and Bluetooth. Obviously, the most popular is going to be Bluetooth. You're going to get nice, crisp, clear sound out of it if you can find a good station. FM radio sounds really good also. If you want to connect it up USB, it's either on the right or left-hand side pockets. I think it's on the, it's on the right-hand side. It's over on that side. You can connect it up USB if you want to connect your phone that way. You can do that. As far as just having some storage that is, you know, kind of at hand's reach, you have storage there on your left-hand side. You can see we get your fob right there, which you can lock or unlock your bags. You can also, if you double tap the lock button on your fob, it'll set an alarm on the motorcycle. So pretty cool there. And then on the right-hand side, we have another storage box right there, which, like I say, your USB is right there. And if we go one more down, you can see this is going to allow us to lock or unlock our bags. And it's also going to allow us to unlock the gas cap. So pretty cool. And you can see on the right hand and left hand side, you got a little bit more wind deflector right there on the left and right hand side. So just a little bit more additional wind protection. The biggest thing with these bikes is just how well they handle, which I can't really quite replicate that in a YouTube video. You're just gonna have to visit your local dealer. If you're close to us here in Hagerstown, Maryland, we do offer test rides. We love it when folks come in and test ride motorcycles, because that's the only way you're going to know if you like the bike and if it's going to handle the way you want it to and if it's got the power that you want. But if you have the opportunity to test ride a Challenger or even the Pursuit, which is pretty much the full touring version of the Challenger, highly recommend you do so. They handle super well. They glide really well. And boy, do they have some crazy torque and some crazy power. So hopefully this video helped answer some questions. If maybe there's something that I didn't touch in this video that you're curious about, please let me know in the comments section below. Thank you guys so much for checking it out, and we'll catch you later.